How's it going, guys? It's K Cars, and in this video we're going to be talking about a new modification for the Dodge Challenger ScatPack. So of course, I just revealed it to you guys right here. We are getting 275 tires finally. I know I've been talking about this for literally the past few years, and you guys have called me out on it as well, because I've been talking about it for such a long time and never actually got to it until today. So the story behind this is that I actually took this car to get a safety inspection. Luckily here in West Virginia, we don't have to do like emissions testing, just a safety inspection. So it actually ended up failing inspection for tires. So it actually gave me an excuse to go ahead and order these new ones. So let me just go ahead and show you guys what these tires look like right now. They're really not terrible, but if they failed inspection, then they're probably not that great. You can see they are bald, kind of like on the edge right there, and that's mainly just from turning. So, I mean, they do have still tread left. They're not completely bald. Let's go ahead and check out the back right here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the back tires are even better than the fronts, which is kind of funny because, of course, it's a rear-wheel drive car, and I haven't gotten these tires rotated in probably a while. So, yeah, I mean, there's the stock tires. Of course, the stock tires are 245s, which, as you guys know, are definitely not wide enough to support the amount of power and weight that this car has. So 275 should be a pretty good upgrade. Let's see right here. You got 245, 45, 20. And I will go over what all those numbers mean here shortly. But I want to talk about the stock tires a little bit more. So they are Goodyear Eagle RSA, I think that's what that says. But I've heard that these stock tires really aren't the best, especially the size, of course. That's the main concern when getting a Dodge Challenger ScatPack like this. Pretty much the #1 complaint that people have with these cars is, of course, the tire size. So this is a much needed upgrade. So these tires right now are 5 years old. They have about 27,000 miles on them. They are the exact same tires like the stock tires that this car came with 5 years ago. So it's kind of crazy that they actually lasted this long. As you guys probably know, I do drive like a grandma, so I'm not out constantly doing launches or roasting the tires off this car. That's not really what I do. So I think they did last a pretty long time. So I'm really happy about that, but it's finally time for an upgrade. So here are the brand new tires. As you can see, they are pretty wide. If we give you guys a comparison, if you can see that right there, they are visibly wider as well, which is pretty cool. So we can do a hand comparison right here. There we go. So I did go ahead and go with Michelin Pilot Sport AS3s. So these are the all seasons. You can see right there, Pilot Sport AS3, 275, 40, 20. So let's go ahead and talk about what these numbers actually mean. So usually tire sizes will be stated in two different ways. So for example, like on my Jeep, the tires that I have on that thing are 31 by 10.5 inches. So the 31 is the diameter of the tire. So that's just the distance from the top to the bottom. It's 31 inches on my Jeep. And the 10.5 is just the width in inches. And also just a side note on the Jeep, it is currently at the shop getting the slip yoke eliminator installed. It did take actually a few days. It was supposed to only be a couple hours, but they ran into some issues, which of course I will discuss in the video coming up on that Jeep. Make sure you guys don't miss that. But anyways, going back to the tire size, the 31 by 10.5, that's inches. And that's usually how off-road tires are stated, like the sizes. And then another way you can see a tire size is by 3 different numbers like I have right here. So you can see 275, 40, 20. So when you compare that to the stock tires, we can go over here, and as you guys saw, it's 245, 45, 20. So that first number, the 275, that's actually the width of the tire in millimeters. So the width is 275 millimeters. And then the second number right there, 40, that's actually the ratio of the sidewall. So if you guys remember, the stock tires had a 45 instead of a 40 for the ratio. And that's because the width of the stock tires is smaller. So of course the ratio is going to have to be bigger for it to compensate for that. Then we have the third number, which is a 20. That just means that these tires fit on a 20-inch wheel. So the stock wheels here are actually 20 by 9 inches. And I know a lot of Challenger owners, that's kind of like one of the biggest questions when it comes to Challenger ScatPacks, is what is the widest tire you can fit on the stock wheels? So that question is literally all over Challenger forums, Challenger Facebook pages. People always want to know what's the widest size tire you can fit on the stock wheels. So I have seen people run 305s on the stock wheels. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you know, if they fit, I guess. But if you're putting 305s on a 9-inch wheel, then they're definitely not going to perform as well as they would if they were on like a 10.5-inch wheel. That would be a lot better, I think. Now, whenever I asked the dealership what the widest tire size you can fit on the stock wheels is, they actually told me a 265, which is, of course, it's going to be a lot safer than a 275. It's not going to be too much different, probably not noticeable. But a 275 should fit on the 9-inch wheel. Of course, we're going to find out whenever we actually try to mount these on there. But whenever you look at the Michelin website or Summit Racing, which is where I ordered these from, it actually gives you a range of wheel width that you can run these tires on. And the range is actually 9 to 11 inches wide. So the wheels that I have right here are at the bottom of that range. So it should be fine, but it's not going to be the best. Maybe a 10-inch wheel, I'm guessing, would be the best fit for a 275 tire, according to Michelin. So I know you guys are probably wondering why I decided to get all-season tires instead of like summer tires or drag radials or just something stickier than an all-season. And the reason for that is because I wanted these tires to last a long time. The tread wear on these is 500, I think. If we look over here, it usually says it. So tread wear 500. I was also looking at the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, I think, or I don't know what they're called exactly, but they were summer tires, and they were, I think, $60 more expensive per tire, and the tread wear was $380. So you're spending more money, but you're also getting less life out of the tires, but you are getting better performance. So a tire like that, like a summer tire, is going to be stickier and softer, but then you're going to get less life out of them. So that's the reason I went with all-season tires, is because, you know, they're cheaper and they're going to last longer. And you can also drive them in different types of weather conditions like rain or snow. I probably won't be driving this thing in snow, but the occasional rain, I might drive this car in rain. So I definitely don't want to get caught in the rain if I'm on like drag radials or just summer tires. Because even with these summer tires, I believe these are summer tires, the stock ones, I feel like I have hydroplaned a couple times. Of course, nothing bad happened, but with tires like these, if you get caught in the rain, it's just a lot safer to have all seasons. I know you guys might be wondering, like, why wouldn't I just get another set of wheels and then another set of tires? If I'm gonna be racing or doing like roll racing, or, you know, just driving in the summer, if I wanna have some fun, I could just get new wheels and then get the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which is what I was looking at, and then just keep these stock wheels and the all-season tires for, like, I don't know, rainy days or when I'm not trying to race or something like that. Well, the reason for that is because wheels and tires are pretty expensive. I was looking at the Ferrata FR4 wheels. They're like deep concave. I'll throw up a picture of those right here. Those were the wheels that I was looking at, but I think for a set of 4, it's like $2,000. And then for another set of tires, it's going to be, you know what, another like 1,800 maybe for good quality tires. So that's a lot of money right there. I don't consider myself to be like a serious racer. I don't go drag racing. I don't really like race that much at all. So I just went with the all-season tires for those reasons. I wanted them to last longer. They're cheaper, and I don't have to get different wheels for 275s, hopefully. So yeah, those were the reasons that I got the Michelin Pilot Sport AS3 tires. I was definitely considering the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, but they were out of stock and they were more expensive, and the lifetime and tread wear of those were also less. So that's why I decided to go with these. So when it comes to the traction of these stock tires, whenever this car was completely stock, you could kind of do a second gear pull from, like, I don't know, what was that, like 40? I think 40 miles an hour would be a good second gear pull with this car. But even back when this car was stock, it still did spin just a little bit from a second gear roll. And then when it comes to doing like a launch control, Of course, it did spin a little bit through first gear, but it wasn't too terrible. So I can throw up a video of that right here. As you guys saw when I did the launch control, it actually hooked up pretty well. Of course, it spun there at the beginning, but with these stock tires, it really wasn't too terrible considering how much this car weighs, how much power it has, and how skinny the tires are. So launch control on the stock tires really wasn't too bad whenever this car was stock, but the problem came whenever I got all the modifications done to this car. So I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I got long tube headers and catless mid pipes, as well as a dyno tune. You can see the headers right there. So with those modifications, it picked up about 48 horsepower, tuned and built by OST dyno. And right now, if you try to do like a second gear pull, it'll just go sideways. Same thing with launch control. So let me throw up a video of launch control in this car on the stock tires after I got those modifications. So as you guys saw, it's really not possible to launch this car on the stock tires. You would have to literally roll into it like this slow. Even if you try to do a second gear pull right now, you do have to roll into it that slow for it to not go completely sideways. And like when I'm talking about like this slow, I'm not even exaggerating that. Like if you don't want to go sideways, you would be better off starting in third gear because you could give it full throttle right away instead of having to roll into it so slow. Even if the RPMs were too low, I think you would be better off just starting in third gear because you would actually be able to hook up. Let me throw up some third gear pull videos so you guys see what I mean. So of course, starting in third gear at around 50 miles an hour really isn't that bad. Like it hooks up instantly. You don't have to roll into it at all. So it's definitely a lot better than launching it from a dig or doing a second gear pull. Now I'm hoping once I get these tires mounted onto this car, we're going to be able to do a second gear pull with no issues. I know on a few of my racing videos, like the one that I did with the Mustang last year, a lot of people were saying like, you know, I should have been in second gear, which is definitely true. But like I said, if I were to start in second gear, it would have been even worse of a race for me because I wouldn't be able to give it full power until like, I don't know, 2 seconds into the start because I would have to roll into it so slow just so I wouldn't have to go sideways like that. So yeah, I mean, these 275s really should help get some grip on this car. Even though they are all seasons, they're not as soft as the summer tires, not going to have as much grip. But I'm really hoping that the added width will make up for that. And yeah, I mean, really hoping to get some second gear pulls out of this car and actually be able to do it without having to roll into it extremely slow. So I'm hoping to get these tires mounted and balanced here soon. And of course, I will be doing an update video and showing you guys some second gear pulls and seeing how that works out, and also some launch control clips as well. So you guys definitely don't want to miss those videos. Make sure you subscribe so you can watch those. Really excited to see how these tires will perform. We might be able to get some races in and actually, like, you know, start in the right gear this time. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun once we get these things installed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update video of the Challenger. I know I haven't really been posting too many videos with this car anymore, but that's because we're doing a lot of stuff to the Jeep. And, you know, I've only had the Jeep for like a year, and I've had this car for 5 years. And Challenger modifications are pretty expensive, so that's why we haven't really been doing too many things with this car, but it's still an awesome car. I'm still really happy with it. It's a lot of fun to drive, sounds insane. And it's going to be even more fun once we get these 275 tires on this thing. If you guys have any questions or video suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, make sure to drop those down in the comments below. And if you guys like this video or found it entertaining, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.